Okay, so the Maytag washer from hell is back again. This time we have a new problem. This washer is 4 years old, and since year one, it has had multiple problems. I had fixed all the problems myself, as the manufacturer ignores these problems, says there's nothing wrong with these washers. We all know that's true because we have other people on the channel that say the same things I do. This latest version is it constantly goes out of balance no matter what we have in the tub. This Maytag model is MVW B765FW3. Not that that matters, but I think there's problems with other models as well. This just happens to be the commercial version of the washer that we bought in 2021. Commercial version means absolutely nothing, and by the way, this is made in the USA. The problem is this: you start the washer load. On rapid wash or normal wash, it doesn't matter. The washer puts up a time on the screen like 51 minutes for normal wash, 30 minutes for a rapid wash. You start the washer. What happens next is insane. During the cycle, it does a drain and spin. This is where the problem begins. The washer, when it gets to this point, can't seem to balance. So the logical thing for it to do is start to drain and spin, and then it stops and refills the tub. It refills the tub multiple times during this. You start thinking, when is my wash going to be done? And you notice that the timer has been running for like 2 hours straight. Refilling, spinning, starting all over again. Somebody designed this, who knows, for it to spin with water in it to balance it or something, but it just kept wasting water and electricity. Finally, just after about 8 minutes left, it flashes out a code on the screen, OFB, which basically means out of balance. You take the items out of the wash and try to wash them again, this time with fewer items. It doesn't matter what you put in this washer. You could put nothing in the washer. It still comes up with the out of balance code and stops. I even tried to drain and spin by itself, and that failed. No luck there either. I figured if I just set it to drain and spin, it would just take the water out, spin, and we'd be good. But it wouldn't even get past that. Kept failing. I also ran drain and spin without the water going into the washer by turning off the faucet. This still caused problems. Now here's the shirt out of the washer. As you can see, I got to wring it dry before I put it in the dryer because if I leave it this wet, the dryer is going to malfunction. So we wound up wringing clothes after a while. So this is what you do after it fails. You basically wring out the clothes and you throw them in the dryer. So I think, do I try to fix this thing again or do I buy a new one? I was all for buying a new one, but not one that was associated with Maytag and their other brands. I was going to give up on this washer. I was looking for new washers, but they all had the same bad reviews. It's like the agitators breaking off, hoses leaking, not enough water, not washing the clothes, clothes coming out dry after you just washed them. I knew I didn't want Maytag, Whirlpool, or any other brand by Whirlpool. That means no Maytag, no Whirlpool, no KitchenAid, no JennAir, no Amanda, or a Consult among others that we don't know about. So my search for a new washer began with Samsung, which everybody hated. Nobody wanted a Samsung. They have just as many problems as Maytag at this point. GE had a lot more problems than just about everybody. I thought GE would be the better brand to get, but no, those had problems as well. And LG also had multiple problems, mostly the hoses popping off and flooding your place. There were other problems with all these models. I'm not going to go over them. If you're interested in finding out, you could look on Best Buy site and look at the reviews. I would focus on the one-star reviews. But I really didn't want to spend $500 to $1,000 for something that's going to have the same problems or worse problems than this Maytag we've owned for 4 years has had. The manufacturer denied all issues with all of these brands, just like Maytag did with us. A lot of their solutions were clean the washer. They even said this when the agitators break off or the hose fails. They would say clean the washer or you're overloading the washer. As a last ditch effort, I brought new stabilizer rods that were not OEM from Amazon. I have the link for those stabilizer rods in the description below. I purchased these rods and held out for 2 weeks thinking, well, maybe the washer would just get better or I don't really want to do this. Things changed, so I decided to give the new parts a shot. These stabilizer rods cost me about $40. So here is the old stabilizer bar. There's 4 of them. You get these caps and you get this little circle and you get this that goes on top and this goes on top. When you take it apart, you'll see there's a lot of videos on how to install these stabilizer bars for Maytag online. I got my 4 from Amazon and I'll leave a link in the description. I did do the 2 in the front first. They were easier than the 2 in the rear. You kind of got to juggle the washer. I didn't have to flip the washer totally over. I had it over about 75 degrees against the wall. And when you put this hook on the top, I needed leverage, so I used one of the old stabilizers like this and I bent it. That way I could hook the hook on there and pull it up, because it's pretty heavy to pull these hooks up. And they actually go into these little circles here. But first it goes in there, then this goes in there. You'll see when you look at the video. And then it hooks up through this hole and connects onto this. The funny thing was the OEM washer didn't have 2 of these cups in the 2 front parts of the washer. It was missing. I don't know if they're just being cheap, but when you buy your non-OEM ones, they give you 4 of these. But apparently on the new washer, there was only 2. So I don't know if that matters. It probably doesn't. They probably just cut corners like they try to do. And these are used. You can't tell the difference. I don't have the new one here. It was kind of hard to record installing the new rods, but you get 4 of these. And it cost me about $40 on Amazon. And I have an affiliate link in the description below of the ones I used. They cost $40. You'll get all these extra pieces of plastic and all that stuff. One thing you want to do is you want to make sure when you put this in the bottom that you push this little white disc down so that it touches the top of this. See how it touches? When I first did it, it didn't seem to matter. The washer still ran. But I didn't think it was right for this thing to be so high when the spring is so low. But you can push that from the top. What I did is I bent one of these and I slid it down this channel and I just pushed on this little disc until it was flush with the bottom of the spring thing like that. Yeah, look for Maytag replacing stabilizer rods on YouTube and you'll see a video on how to replace them. So this did solve my problem. It cost me $40. I kind of had no option because the new ones are so poorly made that I'm keeping this old Maytag washer alive. Every year it seems like something goes wrong with this washer. $40 isn't too bad. The non-OEM parts seem to work fine.